to We Are Here to Love. Happy Self-Care Sunday. So today we're going to focus on creating year-end love reflections. This is a practice that I want y'all to get into, okay? So there's 3 things that you're going to do that you're going to ask yourself. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, did you feel loved by others? Now, when we ask ourselves if we felt loved by others, you want to ask yourself when you felt loved by others. When were these occurrences in your life that you felt like people were showing you love or that people were showing up for you? Then you want to ask yourself, how? How did you know? How did you know that that was happening? What did it look like? And then you want to ask yourself, how do I want it to look? So if it didn't look the way that you wanted it to look, how can it change? And this kind of goes back to last week's video in that we asked ourselves, what are our personal needs? So your personal needs will fall into this, as well as thinking about some of the things that you want, which may be a little bit different from what your personal needs are. But you want to make sure that you're asking yourself these questions about how others were showing up for you in your life. Second question we want to ask ourselves, and you already know this is coming because this is self-care. Did you love yourself? So, you want to ask yourself the same 3 questions as with the last one. When did you love yourself? Because let's be real, we don't do it 24/7, 365. We're not always 100% with our self-love. So we want to ask ourselves, when were those times that we really felt like it? And think back across the year, things that happened to you, moments where your self-care Sunday was on point, moments where you were able to show up for yourself, where you did participate in the treat yourself game. So you want to ask yourself, when did that happen? And then you want to ask yourself how you knew and what it looked like. What were those things that you did? List them, create a list. And then you want to ask yourself how you want it to look in 2017. What are some things that you might want to change about how you've shown up for yourself? What are some things that you want to do differently in your life moving forward, okay? Finally, you want to ask yourself this last question, which goes to others. Did you love others? Now, all of these questions may seem very simple, but we really want to get to the heart of how we're showing up when it comes to love. So you want to ask yourself, did I love other people? And then go back to those same 3 questions of, when did I do it? How did I know that I was doing it? What did it look like? And how do I want it to look? How do I want to show up for the people in my life in the coming year? Do I want to do it differently? And I will give you a nice little bonus here is, if you feel like you have not done that effectively this year, reach out to those people who come to your mind. And of course, when we ask ourselves this question, certain people will come to your mind. That's not a coincidence. Write those names down and reach out to those people and ask them. And a lot of times, we overthink how we are showing up. So some people will say, oh my gosh, you've been amazing. And we feel like, I didn't do nothing for you. So ask those people, have those conversations. And that leads me to the last point. With everything that we do here, I want y'all to get into a regular practice. When we do soul work, we have to continue to follow up on it. So continue to journal, continue to read back and reflect, and also make the time to have those conversations with the people in your life that you need to talk to. Whether that's maybe you want to just kind of talk over this process with friends, maybe you want to get together with friends and do this process, or maybe you might want to talk to your therapist about some of the things that came up for you when you were answering these questions. And then if there are people that you need to schedule time to talk about what love looks like in your relationships with one another, you can do that. And of course, as always, you better be scheduling your self-care time. I'm not playing with it, because in 2017 it's not a game, okay? I'm not even going to get into all the things that we probably going to have to deal with in 2017, because we're going to stay centered in love. But you want to schedule that time. Start now. Start thinking about where I can fit it in my week. It doesn't have to be self-care Sunday. Maybe another day during the week works best for you. Maybe a different time works best for you. But start thinking about that, okay? So we want to do this. We want to do this process because it forces us to remember love and focus on the love in our lives. And even if people are no longer in your life, don't harbor negative energy about that, because all that's going to do is stay in your body as tension. We want to let that go and honor the fact that we did have people in our lives that we loved. We did have memories and moments where we loved people, even if they're no longer with us, okay? So let's focus on that this week. Let's make sure that we are focused on how we've been showing up in love. And also, as always, because God is everywhere, Ask yourself how you've shown up for God this year. How have you shown love to God? And how has God been able to push through you to show love, which shows up in all of these further questions. But how are we showing God love? And that kind of sums it all up. All right? I love you guys. I hope that you have an amazing week. I am here in beautiful, sunny Dominican Republic, and I'm going to be back in Atlanta by the time you see this. So I'm going to have to get used to being in colder weather. But I love you guys. I hope you're staying warm and that you're doing some things that is going to help you take better care of yourself as you move forward in life. Stay focused on the love and drink your water.